everyone, so great to see you. It's Judy from Coffee, Cookies, and Books. And well, as I promised, I have finished all the books for TikTok TBR round 3. And so it's time to review them. Okay, so as I said in the reviews for round 2, I had actually finished round 3, and that was because I went on vacation and I read everything. So yeah, we're going to do them. I am going to just say that I did not write up any reviews for any of these because I was on vacation. Outside of a couple of them, which were done ahead of time, I didn't manage to get anything written. So I'm just going to fly by the seat of my pants on what I can remember of I read them. And I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy them because I did. I actually wouldn't say I hated any of these. I actually thought they were okay. Now, the first one that I'm going to mention is not part of the TikTok TBR. So as I've done before, I'm going to include one of my Love It or Lose It, which I did finish. And that is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. So this is a contemporary romance. That's the best way to describe it. And the two main characters are Macy and Elliot. Okay. And it goes from the time that they are very young, 12, 13, up to the present. Okay. So it flashes back and forth between what happens between them when they're young and their relationship when they're young, including their sexual relationship when they're young, 17, 18, and then to present. Okay. I didn't love it. I only gave it 3 stars. It just, the whole back and forth, I didn't care about them at 18. I mean, I didn't care about them as teenagers. I could have enjoyed this just as much if the whole story had been in the present with discussions about what happened in the past. I didn't need to know about the past. I didn't need to spend as much time back there outside of one very important element that happened, but it happened at the point that they were 17, 18. So yeah, it didn't resonate with me, but I didn't hate it. So I gave it 3 stars. I didn't even dislike it enough to kind of put it in the 2.5 stars and down more. But I just didn't like any of that. I mean, you know, it had a bit of a sad tone to it, but it never quite achieved that for me, except for literally one small part of the book. So the rest of it just felt very melancholy and boring a little bit. Yeah. And the whole relationship between her and Elliot just was weird. Okay. Yeah. It was angsty and weird, and it felt angsty and weird at 18, just like it did at 30, 31. I can't remember how many years they were apart, but it was like 11 years, something like that. Anyway, yeah, that's my take on it. Clearly I didn't love it. So, now I do have another book by Christina Lauren that I will be reading because, as I said, I've actually picked the TikTok TBR for round 4, which is almost finished, and round 5 already, which I have started. And another Christina Lauren is in one of those 2 rounds. I'm not going to say because those TikTok TBR games have to go up first, which will be going up after this review. Okay, so it was just an okay book for me. Okay, so now we're going to go into actual TikTok TBR round 3 and what I read for round 3 because I had some good reads in there. I actually enjoyed most of them. I think they all hit around the 3.5 to 4.5 mark. I don't know that there were any 5 stars in there, but we're going to check. Obviously, I'll look at my ratings as we go through. Okay. Okay, so first one I read was Motorhomes, Maps, and Murders. And this was book 5 in the Campers and Criminals Cozy Mystery series, which I have enjoyed thoroughly up to now. And this was number 4 that it was picked for. 4 rhymes with Flora. Choose a book with transportation on the cover or in the book. So I chose it for the cover. It has an RV, okay? And it does, the RV plays a part in this, plays a funny part, actually, in the book. So this is about Mae West. Now, Mae West is your main character from book 1, and her husband was an embezzler. He embezzled money from a bunch of people. He was the victim in the first book, okay? And he left her with nothing except this campground, okay? And it was a busted and broken down campground. And she moved in there and made it what it was up to this point. And I think up to this point is about the 10-month mark. Okay. I don't think it's been a year yet from the point that she took possession of the campground. Okay. But she's made a lot of good friends and they've gotten really close. So this, now, do you have to read them in order? Yes. I would say you do have to read them in order. And each one is a different, obviously a different situation, but the development of the characters is super important, at least in my mind, is super important. So I would say 100% you should read them in order. I mean, I did, and I love where the characters have gone. So in this particular one, there is a battle reenactment. It's called Battle. It's a Civil War reenactment, Battle at Camp Wildcat. And during the battle, people end up dead for real. Okay. And there is a question about who stole the RV, because an RV gets stolen. And that's where the whole RV comes into it. So Mae wants to figure out who killed these people and who stole the RV. So her and the laundromat ladies do their usual thing and they get involved and chaos ensues. This one was good. I give it 4 stars. You know, has it been my favorite? No, I think so far the second book was my favorite because I really loved the second book. But this was close. I think I gave the second book 4.5. Might have been a 5-star. It was really good. I really loved the second book. But this was good. A 4-star, right up there. I mean, you know, it's cozy mystery. It's only 150 pages. So it's not rocket science, but it is an enjoyable read. Okay, so that was my first read that was official part. Okay, so the next one that I've got is Summers at the Saint by Mary Kay Andrews. So again, this was picked for the 8 Out of the Gate, which is the 8th most recent book. This one came in along with Homewreckers. So the two were together in a book outlet purchase. And I gave this one 4 stars, whereas I gave the Homewreckers 5 stars. So this one was not quite as good, but it was still really, really good. Now, this is about a woman by the name of Tracy Eddings, and she is part owner and runs a hotel resort area called the Saint. Now, there are all kinds of politics, family politics going on in the background that cause her issues in trying to run this hotel. But what happens is they're coming up to their busy season. She has to make a bunch of hires, and she decides to hire this one group. And some of that comes back to bite her in the ass a little bit. But then, of course, there is somebody who ends up dying, and is somebody she's very close to. And that is about the 50% mark, maybe a little bit early, might have been 40%. 150 pages, I think, was when that happened. And the book is almost a 450 page book. So it was like 30% in, 35% in. And up to that, it was moving pretty slow. And then after that, it took off. It was fantastic. So it had that suspense, murder mystery element to it. And it had a relationship building part to it because of somebody that Tracy met as a result of this. It also had some past history of what happened 20 years previously, sort of coming forward to affect what was happening current. It was really good. I mean, I really think I love the way Mary Kay Andrews writes. 100%. So I want to get some of her backlist. I'm going to start with her most recent backlist ones. And like this was one of her more recent. Homewreckers was one of her more recent. So I want to start with that and kind of work my way backwards and read everything she's written, because I really enjoy her writing very, very much. You know, it's an easy read, but it's still good, and she has a ton of plot points, and she builds her characters. Like, I liked Tracy right from the get-go. Just like in her other book, I liked Hattie in the Homewreckers right from the beginning. So she has a real way to kind of draw you into her characters quite a bit. And, of course, the characters drive the story. Especially, they were really good in this book. So, good 4 stars, good solid read. Very much looking forward to reading another book from her. I don't think I have another one here. I think I've read the 3 I had. So I'll be hitting Book Outlet up for whatever else they might have of her sitting there. You know, because they're actually, Book Outlet is usually pretty good for some of the backlist stuff, you know. A lot of times you can find it there. So I will be trying to get it there. Okay, just going to have a sip of my coffee. Again, you know me. Well, there's a reason I say coffee, cookies, and books, you know. I love my coffee, like my cookies a little bit too much, and love my books. So there you go. You know, it's a love fest going on here. All right, so next one I read is Love Bites by Cynthia St. Aubin. Now, this was picked for 6 Feet Under, choose a book about a serial killer. However, this is not your standard serial killer. Okay. It's good, though. I mean, you know, yeah. What did I give this one? 4 stars? Yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. And it does have a little bit of spice in it. Just a bit, you know. I gave it 2 chili peppers. I would say, like, there is one scene, but it's not overdone by any means, okay? So you have Hannah, and Hannah gets a job in a art gallery. It's an art antique gallery type place. And the guy that she goes to work for, Abernathy, she thinks there's something odd about him, you know, right from the get-go. And what happens, I think is it her first day on the job? I think their first day on the job. And this woman shows up, okay, and she demands to see him, her boss, and she's very, you know, glamorous and all that stuff. And so she thinks that this is someone that the boss is involved with, whatever. And this woman ends up dead. Okay, so that's your first victim. Or is she your second victim? I don't know. Anyway, she ends up dead. And then she meets a police officer, detective, James Morrison. And so there's kind of a little something between Hannah and Abernathy, and a little something with Hannah and James Morrison. Okay? So stuff just kind of happens. But as Hannah goes through what's going on that involves her boss, because obviously the detective thinks her boss is involved in the death of this woman, then another death comes to light. So there's some weird shit going on, right? The other thing is she swears that her boss is not normal. Now, I think she's thinking like initially you think, where is she going with this, right? Because you don't know when you're reading through the book, like, where is she going? And I don't want to give it away on where she's going, but the title gives it away just a tiny bit, okay? But it could be one of a couple of different things. And the ending was brutal. It was like, this is supposed to be cozy, and it was cozy right up until the ending. Okay. I think right up to the point where she decides, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge, sort of, right? Now, she's also divorced, and her ex-husband's a jackass, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. But I loved her personality so much. She's snarky, okay? She doesn't put up with shit. She's fun. She's really fun. And she's one of these people who has had a lot of crap thrown at her, and she's just kind of going with the flow, basically. So I did really like it. You know, it was a solid 4-star read for me. And this is a series. I think there is 6 books in the series, or 4 books. Is it 4 books in the series? I know it's a series. The next one is Love Sucks. So that's the next one. Yeah. So it's got the previews. I think the first 2 chapters at the beginning of the next book, at the end of this book. And so it's that's the second one. It's called Love Sucks. So I will be getting the second one because I did really enjoy this one very much. So yeah, all good fun, right? Right. Okay, next one I picked was Garnet Flats by Devney Perry, and this is number 2, to be continued. Choose a second chance romance. This is definitely second chance. So this is Talia Eden of the Edens. So this is her story, and it's about her and this guy Foster that she met in Vegas when she was there for school. Okay, so it was quite a few years later. I can't remember exactly how many years later, but it was quite a few years later that Foster shows up in Quincy, the town that Talia is from, and where Talia is a resident doctor, okay, in the hospital there, and he shows up moving to her town. Now, he is a MMA fighter. He's a champion, mixed martial arts champion. And so he has bought a building, and he's turning it into a gym in the town of Quincy. Okay. And she doesn't want him there, like, at all. I think the only person that she has told about Foster is her father, and that's because her father went and got her in Vegas and took her to, now I can't remember where she did, her university, but he moved her for her, and her dad knew why. There's tension between her and her sister Lila because she didn't tell her sister until Foster moved into town and it became obvious something was going on. So then Talia told Lila, and they're twins, right? So her sister was upset with her, but her sister didn't tell her mom and everything like that. So this is the relationship between Talia and Foster and kind of how they come back together. It was a 3.5 for me. I actually enjoyed this better than the second book, but not as much as the first book. So this is supposed to be a romantic suspense series. So far, the only book that has been is the first book. Had a very significant element of suspense in the first book. Second book, minimal. This book, minimal. Okay? So the only suspense is tied in at the end to Foster's ex-wife. That's it. That's all it is. So it didn't really have anything to do with Talia at all. It was a bit disappointing from that point of view, but I actually liked the two characters and I liked their relationship from a contemporary romance standpoint. Okay, so that was what I liked about it. And of course, I like Devney Perry's writing and I like the whole Eden family quite a bit. So I like a lot of that, but I just was disappointed a bit from the suspense aspect. Okay, and I think that's where it really fell flat for me. Quite a bit. Okay, but not enough that I am going to finish a series. There's 5 or 6 books in the series. I have them all. I'm going to finish the series. I made sure to buy them all because the covers have changed and I love these covers. I absolutely love them. I think that they have a certain feel to them that actually fits the series really well. So I made sure that I got them because I don't like the new covers. They're okay. To me, yeah, I just don't like the feel of them. So I prefer these ones. So that was why I bought them. And I think, I think these are the indie covers. And the other ones are not. So, yeah, I made sure I got the whole set. Okay, last one was Under Lock and Skeleton Key by Gigi Pandian. And this one was 5 Rhymes with a Lie. Choose a book with a plot about survival. Okay, and so I picked this one. Now, this is the beginning of a series. I think there's only 4 books in the series, and this is the first book. And this is about Tempest Raj. She is a illusionist, okay, and she had a show in Vegas. Something went horribly wrong. She was blamed. She was under threat of suit. Her sponsors all dropped her. So she left and she went back home to, I can't remember where it is exactly. It's in California. Her childhood home is in California. Yeah. Where her dad's company, what they do is they build secret bookcases, staircases, basically hidden areas that are almost childish in a sense, but very intricate. So that is kind of where this all takes off. And then they are at a house doing a job, a very old home doing a job, and they find a fresh body hidden in a wall. Okay, and that's where it starts. But the tie-in to Tempest is she knows the person who they find in the wall. She knows them. Okay, it's somebody she worked with in Vegas. So it ties all into that. And it was very, very enjoyable. Such a good book. What did I give this one? I think I gave it a 4. Yeah, so it was a 4-star. So I pretty much had almost all 4-star reads. So it was good though. you know, might have been closer to a 4.5 star. It just very intricate, okay? But at the same time, so the plot itself was very intricate, but at the same time, the characters were really well written, okay? But there were quite a lot of characters being introduced. So I think that was where it lost me just a tiny little bit. But how it all tied into it being solved in the end, that was fabulous. That was really, really well done. And I can't wait to read the next one. I think it's called The Raven. It's the next one, and I do have it. So very much will be looking forward to reading that one. Yeah, this was great. And there's like the relationship with her and her father, the relationship with her and her grandparents. Lovely, lovely. And then she has a couple of really close friends that are fabulous too. Yeah, it's just really good. So highly, highly recommend. And I would say that as a series on a whole, it's good. Now, the survival part is just her. Like the way I viewed it is she is trying to survive because they think that maybe she is supposed to be the dead person, okay? That someone's after her as a result of this person they find in the wall. Yeah. I mean, the book itself is almost how the case and how everything kind of works is almost itself like a puzzle. And what they build is almost like a puzzle. So do you know what I mean? So it's like they all kind of fit together. And it says it's under lock and skeleton key, and the key plays a key role in also how things kind of unlock as you go through. Yeah, you know, brilliantly done, I thought. Okay, so that's actually it. Yeah, so we're done with that one. That is, again, round 3. Okay, so round 4, TikTok TBR, will be going up right after this so that you can see what I pulled for round 4. And those books, I am almost done reading them. So the review for that will go up soon. But the TikTok TBR round 4 is going to go up, and the reviews for the first Kindle round will be after that. So, yeah, we've got a lot going on in August. Okay. And round 6, because I did pull a round 6 and have something special going on for that. But there's also going to be a little bit something for my members as part of that. So, yeah, this is a little bit of fun, a little bit more fun from August. Going into September is going to be a blast too. So September, what I have coming in September is called Super Series September. So September, everything is going to be centered around my series challenge that I started at the beginning of January with all of the series that I started before January 1st. So everything that started 2025 and past, we're going to be doing something special for that, and that's going to be in September. But I am going to be continuing my KU pulls, and the KU TBRs are going to be included. We're just going to do them a little bit differently. So I think we're going to put them on a spinner wheel, what's left of them, or we're going to continue those as, yeah, I think that's it. I can't remember. I had it all sit down. It's confusing because I'm doing a lot of crap. Right? Okay, so that's it for now. So I guess we will see you in the next video.